Hello, supplies. Here I am. It has been a minute because I was away. I was doing some goofy traveling with my goofy friends. I love the goofy travel. Good morning, good morning. Hey, I'm seeing some folks tuning in. It is early. And I'll be honest with you, I screwed up my own schedule and I almost showed up an hour late, which was kind of goofy, but good morning. Here we are this morning. What day is today? Wednesday, April 17th. Can you even believe it? We are more than halfway through April. April being the fourth month. So we're a third of the year, a quarter of the year, and then some. It's getting lighter out earlier where I am. I hope it is with you too. And good morning. For those of you who haven't met me before, my name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. Now, the funny thing is I'm thinking I haven't done a TikTok live in a while, so I am I'm kind of rusty. Like, notice when I was just like, what am I? Oh yeah, I'm rusty. I'm not used to doing this. Yeah, so good morning. Yes, Abbott Elementary, you are so right. Crazy how fast this year is going. Crazy thing is, I want to say, is that technically, ostensibly, I mean, time is a construct. You know, there's an idea there that the years tend to all have the same amount of days, the same, and the days have the weeks, months, hours, minutes, all that. But it can feel different. It can feel like it's going by. So to me, sometimes this is a good touch point to just say to yourself, okay, how do I feel right now about what I've done so far this year? I feel pretty good about what I've done. But I know I've got some other stuff I want to get done. But how about you? Now, this is kind of the coaching-y thing that I say, well, good morning, Braden, and good morning, Linda, and good morning, TC, and all the people in Romper Room land. Is ask yourself these questions. But oh my gosh, the last thing I want you to do, I am just here, I dropped my pen, not that I need to write anything down, but let me grab it, is just touching base with yourself, saying, okay, now hold on, let me pull over to the side of the road. I've been driving this whole year. Let me pull over at a scenic overlook. Let me get out and stretch and just let me look at my map, because hopefully you have a map, and you say, okay, where have I been? What have I done in the past few months that feels good? What have I done in the past few months that hasn't been so good? And what can I do differently when I get back in the car and drive forward through April into May and into June? Now, this has to do with decluttering, you know, to say, okay, what are the habits I have? Have I done any decluttering? Have I made any decisions about what, you know, as I like to say, a la the Clash, should I stay or should I go now? What is the stuff that I have that I want? And what's the stuff maybe I thought I wasn't ready to let go of? Maybe I'm ready to let go of it. And then once you make that decision, which is the biggest part of it, then what actions follow that? What are the next steps to saying, if I don't want this, where's the easiest thing for me and for it to get out of my house, basically? So, good morning, Erin. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Actually, here's a really funny thing, real quick, everybody. So I was in Ohio this past couple of days with some friends of mine, and I thought of Erin, who's on right now. She is she's a forever client, I guess I'll say. And friends of ours were driving from Ohio back to Massachusetts, and they went via Buffalo, New York, and I was jealous because they had a beef on weck sandwich from Schwabbles, and they took a picture and they sent it to our group text, and it looked so good. I was jealous. I was like, we have to go a different route, but we can't. It doesn't make sense to go from Ohio to Buffalo, where I am. But boy, did that sandwich looks good. Yes, and I swear to God, I will drive for a sandwich, and it looked really good. We actually ended up getting a surprisingly tasty sandwich in, I don't know, Somerset, Ohio. But I digress, as I like to say, or as Craig likes to say, but I digress. So if we haven't met before, I'm a decluttering life coach, and what I do on these, what I endeavor to do on these TikTok lives is to help you start your day or just continue your day with some encouragement, building up your courage versus discouragement to take away the courage. Notice the difference. It's so funny because I was never an English major, but the words we use have power. When you feel encouraged to do something, I've got the courage to do this. I've got the courage to tackle my sock drawer. But when you're feeling discouraged, when you feel afraid, I can't do that, I feel discouraged, it's never going to work, we're doomed, it doesn't matter. That's another way of feeling. And depending upon what you think and you feel is what you do. There we go. Lauren D says, our friends were just in Ohio on college visits and driving back to Massachusetts. Interesting. They might have been on a parallel course with our friends. I love it. So I ask you this. How's your courage level? If you were going out to your car today and before you even got in to drive the car, you kind of checked all your tanks. So think about it. When you are in your car, you check your levels. You check your levels before you even start, because then you know what you need to fill up on and what you're good on. So you've got your gas tank. To me, the gas tank is always like the energy you have and that kind of, and I say energy in a good way, like that good motivating energy that's going to allow you to do the things. But there's also some other things. So you've got your windshield wiper fluid and you've got your oil, and there are different other things to check too. So always check in with yourself before you start to do, well, basically anything. But for our, kind of niche right here, for decluttering. I just got off a coaching call with a wonderful client who was saying that she's so realizing the importance, because this is what we work on in coaching, is to pay attention to how you feel kind of physically, mentally, nervous systemly, energetically, all of those kind of tanks, how you're feeling before you do anything. Because when you feel better, you're going to do better. And I will say, doing better means just whatever you're going to do is going to feel easy and simple and no big deal. Okay? But if you're not feeling good about stuff, or not feeling well physically, or you're activated, you're like in fight or flight, or, that's going to make even some of the most easy peasy things seem overwhelming. Now, trust me, I've been there. I know it myself, and it is a practice to check in with yourself before you start to move forward and to correct those things. If one of your tanks is, if something's flaring up, to take care of it before you even start your journey. So I know this is a lot of kind of abstract thought and metaphor for early on a whatever day it is, Wednesday morning, but notice, I would love for you to just realize that how you feel affects what you do. And when you feel better, you do better. That's why I got my certification in life coaching, because when I started coaching, when I started helping people with their clutter, my own self included, I did not really clue into that. It was like, come on, let's just do it. Doesn't matter. Suck it up, buttercup. Let's just get it done. Come on, get it done. Now, I can say that from the external because I don't hear the stories. I don't feel the feelings that the stuff that you have brings up. I have since become so much more aware of this, both when I'm coaching people and helping people, but also with myself, that I have things that I struggle to do, that I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it, but I got to do it. How can I feel better about it so I actually do these things? Okay, so how can I help you? It's 7:09 in the morning today on Wednesday, April 17th. Take a moment, take a beat, and figure out which one of your tanks is a little bit on the empty side, and how can we fill up that tank so that 8 a.m. today, that you leave this TikTok live or whenever you need to, that you feel a little bit better. Because feeling a little bit better makes you do a little bit better. And then when you do better, you say, oh, that felt kind of good. Maybe I'll do it again. It has this nice kind of, I can't remember, the ratchet effect. I don't know. Some Seth Godin, I'm sure, has a fancy businessy way of saying this. I like to keep things simple because to me, sometimes when my brain has to translate a word into something more simple that I can understand what it means, then that's energy wasted. So I keep it simple. And here's what I say, and I want you to think about this. What you think makes you feel a certain way, and when you feel a certain way, you do a certain thing. So when you think better, you feel better. And when you feel better, you do better. And when you do better, you're going to think better, like, oh, that wasn't that hard. I can do this. And it's kind of it can be a lather, rinse, repeat. Now, if you've never done this before, it can seem weird or overwhelming, or you've tried to beat yourself up, you're yelling at yourself to get stuff done, you're task mastering, you're all stick and no carrot. And I don't even like carrots, but I like them better than being beaten by with a stick. So how can I help you get out of beating yourself up mode and into feeling better mode? Where are you not feeling so great about your clutter? What stories come up? What things? Put it in the comments, and I can kind of do a little bit of one-on-one coaching here, because that's really what I do. I do one. So just as a quick thing, since there's no questions that have popped up, really quickly, DestinationDecluttered.com is my website. That's where you can sign up for the mailing list. The mailing list is kind of fun. That's the more I do things, the more the people on the mailing list are going to get all the first dibs. So if you want to have future access to the recordings of these TikTok lives, currently you can get them right now, but I'm going to change that model because I really want to reward the people who say, yeah, I'm interested. Yeah, I want to be on your mailing list. It's free. It's also where we do a monthly Zoom, which is kind of fun. That's a real taste of the one-on-one coaching in a group environment, because that's really where the magic happens. Okay? So I love this. So Dawn and Keeping the Faith Gina are both saying where to start. Here's what I want to offer. 2 things to think about before you even get on the road and start driving towards your destination decluttered or anything, is to check in with how you feel. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, because Dawn said that, overwhelm is one of the number one things. Every single time I do a TikTok, overwhelm is the thing that gets in the way from people even starting. So I just want to offer this to you as far as that goes, is overwhelm is a feeling. Notice when I say a feeling, my body coaches so much that my hands go right here. This right here tends to be where I feel the overwhelm. Where do you feel your overwhelm? Maybe it's up here. Maybe you get a headache. Maybe it's on your shoulders. You're feeling heavy. Maybe you just want to curl into a ball. Ask yourself and listen for your answer. When I'm overwhelmed, where do I feel it? And pay attention to where you feel it. And then you can do something about it. Here's a fun one. I just thought about this. Okay? So notice when you feel overwhelmed. It shows up in your body and it shows up in your energy. Grab something. This is called bilateral stimulation. Fancy words. I'm not really into that, but take something, and what you can do is to activate both sides of your brain. Have something, kind of toss it back and forth. Make you feel different. Reduce the overwhelm. Okay, high abdomen. How does that feel? Does it feel tight? Does it feel swirly? Do the opposite. There are different things you can do. This is one of those many techniques you can do. I like to think of overwhelm, so you can get your body involved. If you're feeling your abdomen's tight, maybe you stretch. Getting the air into your lungs and moving your physical body does wonders to dispel that overwhelm energy. The other thing too is I want you to think about this. I feel it in my chest. Yeah, I feel it in my chest too. I feel like I can't breathe. I feel heavy and constricted. Doing the opposite. Reminding yourself you can breathe. You know, that you don't have a weight on your shoulders that may feel that way. When you breathe, what that does is allows the cells in your body to just feel better, to actually have the energy they need so that you're not in fight or flight mode, because there's really nothing to fight or flight. I don't know about you, but I don't have like a tiger around here that's getting me that I need to scurry away. It's just a feeling. I want you to think of the word down. This is my way of thinking about this. I want you to think of the word overwhelm. O-V-E-R is over your head. And I want you to think of the opposite. And notice when I'm doing this, I'm saying down. I'm moving my body down. Instead of being overwhelmed with all of it, I want you to breathe down, slow down. I want you to quiet down. I want you to calm down. You do this, slow down, quiet down, breathe down. Even notice my body language, my body. I got my body involved. I feel like those Tai Chi people in the park sometimes. But take your hands, slowly move them from above and overwhelmed to down below your heart. A few deep breaths. There we go. Dizzle3 says, it's always my right shoulder. If I roll it back and breathe through it, it's a mini reset. Yeah, reset yourself. Because when you feel better, physically, emotionally, when you just feel better, you're going to do better. And what this does is this gives you an opportunity to say, wait a minute, I can do something about this. So if you're overwhelmed, start with addressing your overwhelm and feeling better. Now notice I said, calm down, breathe down, slow down, quiet down, all those things. Another couple of downs I want to offer to you is, notice I grabbed my pen earlier, is to download your thoughts, to write down, to get your thoughts down from your brain onto paper. Where do you want to start? What's something that you know if it was decluttered you'd feel better about? Write it down. The other thing I want to say is also, before you start, what's your destination? Before you even start your journey, it's not a journey unless you have an endpoint. What is your destination decluttered? How do you want your home and life to look and feel and function? Breathe into it. Think about it. Just start writing down what comes up. Write down what comes up. Notice that it comes up, you're feeling a certain way, and you're writing it down. That's a wonderful way to start. Then we can get into the practicality of like items together and all that, but notice the prep work. Notice that if you were in your car before you started a journey, if you checked all your levels, filled up the ones that were kind of empty, and had an idea of where you were driving today, you would get so much more. You would just be all, before you even left your driveway, you would know where you were heading, and you knew you had the tools to get there. Okay? So Kay is saying, my mom had clutter, and I notice things get cluttered for me when I'm stressed about work or kids. Okay, so notice that when you feel stressed, you tend to get cluttered. Notice that. And one of the things that might be happening there, first of all, we just gave you a wonderful toolkit of all sorts of things you could do to decrease the stress and the overwhelm. But also notice that you have a habit of, when I'm stressed about work and kids, what I typically will do, and maybe I'm inferring a lot just by that one sentence you gave me, is that you're in the habit of not putting stuff away when you're stressed out. You leave things, you say, I'll deal with it later, I'm too stressed, I can't even, as the Bitmoji says. Notice that about yourself. Notice I use the word notice. I use the word notice a wicked lot. And I say notice this because when you notice something, you step out of it. You're no longer in it. I was up above it, now I'm down in it. Is you can notice something. You can stop your little traffic cop hand. Hey, wait a minute. You know what I just noticed? I noticed when I'm stressed about work or kids, I get cluttered. Also, bringing your mom into it means that that's probably how she dealt with it. So you probably picked up some habits that don't give you the life you want, but you did it. No big deal. Do not judge yourself. I feel like I'm all kind of churchy, which I'm not, but do not judge yourselves. Do not judge others, but especially do not judge yourself. Okay? Judging yourself shuts you down. I want you to get curious. I want you to notice without judgment and get curious. Oh, isn't this interesting? Look what I do. When I'm stressed out, I get cluttered. How can I deal with the stress and then also change my habits? There are ways you can do it. Okay. Becky Sue is saying, I always feel like I'm being chased by a tiger before 11 a.m. Now notice you didn't say I am being chased by a tiger, but I always feel like it. So I would get curious, Becky Sue, and say, what is it about what happens in your life before an 11 a.m. that at 11 you get that, like, I got to run away from the tiger feeling? But also notice me and my little traffic cop hand, tweet, saying, is there really a tiger here? No. Feels like there is. Why? What else is going on that's making me feel that way? And I want to give you this wonderful little tidbit, this little kind of mantra. I can do something about this. I can do action, something about this, whatever. I action this. A nice little trifecta, okay? I can do something about this. If I'm feeling stressed in something, I'm going to slow down. I'm going to, do this. I'm going to move my neck. I'm going to shrug my shoulders. I'm going to shake it off like Taylor Swift, and then say, all right, what can I do differently so I don't feel that way? All right? All right? I get annoyed by myself having that habit, but it's how I do it. Yeah, notice without judgment. It's so okay. There we go. See, keeping the faith is saying, all right, I feel better already just by breathing with you. Yeah, we're all in this together. I feel better doing that, and I'm not even stressed. So if I feel good when you're stressed, so notice you have something in your toolkit now. This is how I coach. We are creating a toolkit in the back of your car that you say, when this happens, I've got something I can do with that. And you've got your breathing. You've got your over to down, slowing down, breathing down, chunk it down. Okay? This is how it goes. This is how I coach. One of the reasons, honestly, I'll be totally transparent. One of the reasons I show up and do these TikTok lives is to help you during the TikTok live. But I also do this because I'm a one-on-one life coach and decluttering coach. And so what I do is I show up like the coach that I am, so that if you are thinking you're looking for a coach, I may be the coach for you. Because this is what I do all the time with all of my clients. Because one of the quickest ways to get from where you are to there is to do coaching. Now, I'm not going to get into any salesy spiel here, but I want to just be totally transparent. Is if you think working with me is going to work, it's going to work. I've got clients that will, attest to it. I know I'm not the right person for everybody, and that's okay. But if you feel like it would be fun and helpful for you to, have some help getting you where you want to go, your destination decluttered, I'm a coach. Get on my mailing list and we can work on it. Decluttering Life Coach. I coach on Zoom, so it's like I don't have to be in your state. I don't come to your house. Okay? I love it. Julianne P. says, I've done one room at a time with your tips, and I am so happy with what I've done so far. Notice the feeling. I only show up being a coach. I could go do something else for a job, but I show up because I know that helping people realize that they can do something about how they feel, and it can start with clutter, is a really awesome thing. Because when you start to declutter, feels good. Feels good to get rid of what you don't want. Your body does it at multiple times of the day. You can do the same thing in your house. What no longer serves you, you can get rid of. And I say get rid of. That's a phrase that I'm in the habit of using, but I'm trying to stop my habit. When I say get rid of, what I just mean is remove it from your life so it's just not there anymore. Doesn't mean throw it away. There's many ways you can get things out of your life, but the easiest way to do it. Okay? Okay. Gina is saying, my clutter stresses me out and I know my husband hates it. Okay, well, let's deal with him. He's part of this equation, but this is me. I'm a one-on-one coach, so right now I'm your coach. Okay? And I want to say, your clutter stresses you out. What about it stresses you out? Now, if we were on a coaching call, here's what I would do. I'd say, don't answer me right now. Get used to asking yourself these questions, pausing, listening to you, listening to your head and your heart, and then write that stuff down. Get those thoughts out of your head and onto paper. That's one way of getting rid of, or at least seeing what you have, spreading it out so you can take a look at it. It's also what we do with stored clutter. You unpack the junk drawer and you spread it out to see what's making it up. Okay? Esmeralda has a wonderful destination. It sounds awesome to me. I want to set a corner in my room, a corner to read my books with blankets and pillows. It sounds awesome. Notice when you define a destination, suddenly you know a roadmap will appear, or we create a roadmap. You're right here. What are the things you need to do in order to get that corner that way? You ask yourself that question, you listen for the answer, and you write those things down. That's your roadmap. That's your roadmap. And then you chunk it down and you put it on your calendar and say, okay, that's what I need to do. If I want to get there, when am I going to do it? Okay? Yeah, too many stuff that I need and can't take out. Okay. So Esmeralda, what I want to offer. So Esmeralda, and the reason, I'll just kind of pull out to the side here. The reason I recognize the questions that I'm answering and I always articulate them is because these TikTok lives get recorded and get uploaded to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. Now, I will share this with you right now, starting today, because it's halfway through April. From now until the end of April, all of the TikTok live recordings will be available for you to watch as soon as I get them up there. However, starting in May, what I'm going to do is I really want to make the people, my paying clients and the people on my mailing list, reward them, thank them for that. So they will always get the first dibs. Starting in May, if you're on the mailing list, you will get access to that month's TikToks right away. So hopping on the mailing list, it's free. It's so easy. DestinationDeclutter.com/join. You can get on that. But what I want to mention to you, Esmeralda, when if you have too much stuff that you need and you can't take out, notice the words you're using. I need it and I can't take it out. Okay, ask yourself, do you really need it? Ask yourself, can I store this stuff someplace else than this corner? Ask yourself some questions. Do I really need all of this stuff? Do I need some of it? Do I need none of it? Listen to your answer and proceed accordingly. But when you say I need and I can't, those are words that get you stuck. Those are kind of fixed questions. Okay? Ease up on yourself. Say, I can do something about this. Where else can these things in the corner go? Do I even need this? Maybe I do need those things, but is what else around the house do I have that I don't necessarily need or want, that I could remove, that I could rehome, that I could insert different word for get rid of, so that I have space to move the things from the corner. It's kind of like one of those puzzles I have to get myself. I wonder, I probably decluttered it. I have one of those puzzles that has like the tiles in it. Got to get myself one of those. Because it's true. It's like sometimes you have to move something over here to give a space for this, and then it moves. There can be a couple of steps. Okay? But what I want to say is the very first step will be getting your tanks, leveling out your energies. You know, oh, dude, I feel so hippie. But feeling better about it. Telling yourself, I can do something about this. Okay? Okay, so Not Done Yet 2024 says, do you have experience with people with trauma? Trying to deal with the clutter issue triggers PTSD. I will be frank with you. Hello, my name is Frank. I am not trained in any kind of trauma response with PTSD. However, I think my tips and my tools and the way I coach applies to everybody. However, if you already know going in that you need more of a specialist because of these situations, the wonderful thing is that there are trauma-based coaches and therapists that can help you through that. Now, if it's something very light, I could probably help you with that. But the last thing I want to do as a human being on the planet is promise you something I can't provide. I wouldn't even want to set ourselves up for both feeling, not failure, but just disappointment. So I want to say Not Done Yet 2024. The wonderful thing is you have noticed that you need a bit more of a specialist. I am not trained in that way, so I don't want to, I can help you put a Band-Aid on something, but I can't do surgery. And not even a Band-Aid. I can help you clean out the wound, like if it's a surface wound, so it heals. I work in metaphor, what can I say? But there are people out there that can help you, and you've identified some keywords that you can then Google and find somebody like that. I think every one of us, at least for me, I've found we have stories in our past that have caused us to think a thing, feel a feeling, and do a thing. And after being on the planet for a few decades here, we realize that those things in the past still might be affecting us. The way somebody spoke to us, the way somebody raised us, the way we interacted with something. That can be a holdover from stuff. I think everybody to a certain degree, at least the people that I've coached and myself and my friends, we are all still affected by certain things in the past. Recognizing that and saying, what can I do about that now, is a game changer. You know what level of trauma and PTSD you have, okay? So hope that helps. I love it, Erin saying, yeah, chances are your husband stresses you out about your clutter. Yeah, we got this. Okay. Oh, well, here's the one different thing. Windy Rose, Windy Rose, Windy Rose. Are we talking about the final destination or just one trip? They're all trips. Every single destination. But here's the thing about the destination. Let me get into this a little bit. Okay. In a way, we all are on the destination. We are all on the road trip. My head's always in the way. We're in a car between birth and death. It's true. We get born. We have a certain amount of years. We die. Within that, however, you have all sorts of mini trips. And what I want you to say is when your destination is, I want to feel good, I want things to be easy, that can be a destination that it's like, okay, if that's what I want, then how do I get that? Okay, where do things not feel good? How can I change that? That's a little road trip. Where in this part of my life? Where in this? They're all little ones, but that concept of aiming for something, you're more likely to get it versus not knowing what you're aiming for and you're just kind of driving around. Okay? Yeah. And Terry B, if you need rest and you're feeling overwhelmed, get some rest. That's part of you filling your tank so you feel less overwhelmed. Okay? Feeling good, feeling better than you did is going to help you do the stuff you didn't think you could do. German Maid is saying, found some metal art in my shed, clean up, and I wanted to paint years ago. I stopped and painted them. Hey, check you out. You did the thing you said you wanted to do. Isn't that a good feeling? You know? Okay, and Esmeralda, it's a process. It's not a one and done. Everybody, there's going to be these things that you do. You know, not all the time, but yeah, it's like, okay, it's starting to look good, but I still want that corner. Then work on that corner. Yeah. Okay. Yep, other people can make you feel terrible at your clutter and it's paralyzing. I show up as the antidote to those people. I want you to feel okay about your clutter. It is not a judgment. It is not a moral failing. You are not a bad person for being cluttered. You're not broken. You don't need fixing. You just have habits that get you your stuff in a certain way that you don't like. But the cool thing is you can change those habits to get your stuff, quantity, quality, where you're storing it, all of that stuff, you can change it. You can change it. Right. Julianne P. is asking a really good question, or saying, I often get stuck on, am I going to need or use this down the road? I love your down the road. Thank you for using the road trip metaphor. Yes. Okay. Am I going to need it? Like eventually I need it, but answer the question, am I going to need or use this down the road? Well, one of the ways you can, and this is going to be a question you ask of for all your stuff, but the answer is going to be different depending upon the thing. So ask yourself, when's the last time I used this? I'm thinking of my George Foreman grill, okay? We got it for our wedding gift. We just had a panini yesterday on the way back from our trip, which probably made it pop up in my mind. And also because those of you who have been with me for a while, remember I used to talk about the Instapot? Well, we finally rehomed that. My husband, I love him. I do, and he cooks, but he likes to get these little like kind of gadgety things. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, I'll use a frying pan. Like I'm a very minimalist cook. And however, so I say, okay, when's the last time we used the George Foreman grill? I don't even know. Now, the cool thing is we have enough space, so it's stored easily. We can get it if we want it, but it's not getting in the way of other things. Okay? Are we going to use it down the road? Yeah, probably. So we keep it. But ask yourself the question about that particular thing and say, when's the last time I used it? Just notice it. Oh my God, we haven't used it. Seriously, we haven't used that thing in like a year probably. Are we going to use it in the future? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Ask the question of yourself and just be okay with whatever the answer is. If you say, yes, I think I might use it, find a place to store it that works for you. Now, remember, the stuff you use infrequently, kind of like putting away your Christmas decorations, put them in the place that's less in the way, but you'll know where it is so you go to get it. Like our George Foreman grill is in like a cupboard, there's 2 shelves, and it's in the bottom, I swear to God, it's in like the bottom left-hand corner of a shelf that we know where it is. It's not easy to get to, but if we need it, we can dig it out. Okay. Okay. Not done yet is saying my sister called me a hoarder and I'm not, but her words were so hurtful. That's a lot to unpack. I got sisters. I got hoarders in my family. I got sisters who are hoarders and hoarders that are sisters, and myself included. We come from a cluttery type of family. But ask yourself a question. Why did that hurt? Why did that hurt? Write down the answers. Don't just sit there stewing. Do not stew. Don't just have it all go like this. Get those thoughts out of head onto paper. What's up with that? Why do you think she gave you that? Maybe she said it to you because she loves you and she's concerned that you may turn into one of those people on the TV. Maybe she loves you, but she's afraid she sees you unhappy and she's trying to shock you into doing something about it. Okay? Get your thoughts out of your head and onto paper and see what's behind that. Okay? That's a deep dive, but that's worth getting into. Noticing how that makes you feel. Words make you feel a feeling. And when you feel a feeling, you do a thing. She called you a hoarder. What are you going to do with that information? Are you going to say, yeah, you're right. Oh, maybe I am. Or are you going to say, no, I'm not. Here, I'm going to do something about my stuff. You can do something about this. You can also maybe change the dynamic between you and your sister and tell her that her words were so hurtful. There's all sorts of things here. But notice, excuse me, I just spit. Notice, without judgment, just say, wow, okay, notice what happened here. This is causing me to feel a feeling. And when I feel a feeling, I do a thing. What are you going to do with that feeling? What can you do to recognize that feeling and then change it up so it benefits you? Okay? User 42116 is stuck on paperwork clutter. Please help. Sure. Okay. First of all, paper. Paper. I got it all around. I got it around me. Paper can be overwhelming, not because it's an 8.5 by 11 piece of black and white paper, like piece of, wood pulp with something printed on it. It's the message on it that can get you stressed out. Or the quantity of paper because you haven't dealt with it. We live in a hybrid society. We went from an only paper society to now kind of half on the computer and half on paper. Creating a system and a process to help you navigate and to just process your paper is something I'm really good at. So I want to offer you these few tips. Now, this is I can only get into it so much because we're on a TikTok call here. But what I will offer is, for everybody, this is the thing I love. I always go back to the thing I love about, I know it sounds showy offy, but it's not. The thing I love about the way I coach is that I teach you a process and a system that doesn't just work for one specific area and then you have to do something else here and something else here. No, it's copy, paste, copy and paste. It's lather, rinse, repeat. It's the same thing. Is stored clutter. You've got a bunch of papers. Get all your paper together. Whatever you have. If it's mail, open up the mail. Start to categorize. Categorizing like items together, we used to say back in the visual merchandising biz. All the candle stuff goes over here. All the placemats go over here. All the baskets are down here on the wall. All the papasan cushions are stacked up over here. Organizing your stuff to see what you have is going to be the very first step. So when you go through your paperwork, first of all, do not judge yourself. Just go through it. Big piles to little piles. You've got a big pile of paper. Oh, look, this is from Blue Cross Blue Shield. This is all medical stuff. Any of my medical stuff, I'm going to make a pile. This is for my credit cards. I'm going to make a pile. Oh, here's a letter somebody wrote me. I'm going to make a pile of sentimental stuff. You know your categories because you know your paperwork. When you put it into categories, then ask yourself, what do I need to do with this? Do I need to take an action? Do I need to actually even keep this piece of paper? Ask yourself the question, listen for the answer, do the thing. Boom, you're done. See, so easy. Now, I know it isn't that easy, but it's also not that difficult. It really isn't. And I do that. I'm whispering to your nervous system. This is not difficult. This is easier than you think. It can be fun. And it feels good when you know what to do. And you do know what to do. You're no dumb bunny. You know certain things to do. Do the things you know how to do. And when you don't know what to do, that's when you know that there's help out there. That's why I show up as a coach. That's why I show up on TikTok to let you know there's help out there with what you don't know how to do. There are plenty of things I don't know how to do, and if I wanted to know how to do them, I would probably get some lessons. If I wanted to learn how to ice skate and I didn't know how to do it, I could pretend to do it on my own, or watch a video on TikTok or whatever. The best thing, if I really want to know how to ice skate, was I would get an ice skating coach. They'd be right there with me as I'm learning. They could see where I'm, no, a little bit to the left. Okay, good. Oh, awesome, you're doing good. Okay, now practice it. And remember that time when you get to that, you go on the outside edge. Whoosh, next thing you know, you're Dorothy Hamill. When you don't know how to do something, welcome to being human. But the great thing is that you can learn how to do stuff. Okay? Here we go. Okay, Cat Mama, have some productive days, then the feelings come crashing down. Yeah. Had to sell parents' house. Yeah. Gathering spot for family. Yeah. Oh, hon. This is going to bring up this process, this journey of birth to death, of cluttered to decluttered. You are going to feel feelings throughout your journey. If you don't, check yourself for a pulse. Check yourself for sweatpants. Check to make sure you're not a robot. The only things that does not feel feelings, and who knows, with technology, they might. You are a human being. You're going to feel the feels. It's okay. It's okay. Feel them. Let them kind of like a rainstorm kind of happen, surge up. You get rained on and then it goes away. It's like a cloud. It's like a passing cloud. And love yourself all the way through it. Okay? Love yourself all the way through it. Love is a feeling. Even when you're feeling bad, cry, let it get out. You may have snot on your nose and your eyes may be puffy and your face may be blotchy, but even after you cry, that is your body releasing something it doesn't want anymore. It doesn't want to hold on to those feelings that make you feel cryy. You know? Let go of it and you're going to feel better. That's like your body is decluttering the feelings. It's getting things in flow. It's getting things not stuffed down. Yeah, that can be hard. Tears will be shed, but it's okay. That's part of being a human. If you try to avoid it, you're also going to avoid the joy. Because the joy and kind of yin-yang type of thing, you know? Okay, Lori's got a divorce. I've had one of those in my past. Have a storage full of stuff, overwhelming, where do I start? And not tech savvy to sell online. Okay, so a couple of things. If you're divorced and you've got some stuff you don't want, get rid of it. Yeah, if you want to sell it online, but you're not tech savvy, you could get some lessons on how to learn to sell things online. But do you want to sell things? Maybe there's an easier way to sell it. Is there an easier way for you to sell things? What's an easier way? Let me even rephrase this. Notice every time I ask it, it can be slightly different. What's an easy way for you to get rid of some of that stuff, to remove those things? One size does not fit all, as the square pegs kids would say. What's something when the storage full of stuff, start with the easy stuff. Everybody, don't stay with the easy stuff, but start with the easy stuff. You know there's stuff that you could easily donate, you could throw away. You've got surface clutter, stored, and sentimental. Start with the easy stuff because that's going to allow you to just get going. It's also going to make room for when you get to the stored clutter. Okay? Yeah, Angel is asking how long has it been since you used a thing from it? Yeah. Jen B is saying, I struggle with surface clutter. Can you digitize your paperwork? There's all sorts of, there's no wrong way, there's no right way. Okay. Yeah, so just Judy, I get it. When you have a decade's worth of being cluttered, you kind of want to just, as you said, just want to set fire to all of it. That is a short-term solution to a long-term way of being. I literally had a consultation with a client once whose house had burned to the ground, which we all think, oh, wouldn't that be great, just starting with a clean slate? No, because you know what didn't change is the way she thought and felt and acted about her stuff. She ended up in a new home with more stuff than she ever did. It was a worse problem than to begin with. Okay? But notice the overwhelm. Judy, you may not have been at the beginning of the call, but what I will say is overwhelm is the number one feeling that stops us from doing something. So take care of the overwhelm first. Overcome the overwhelm, I like to say in my little snappy patter. Okay? Calm down your nervous system. Overwhelm exists in an energetic state. I feel overwhelmed, too much, too much. You always want to calm down. Notice over to down. Slow down. Breathe down. Quiet down. Notice how I'm even moving my hands down. I'm slowing down. I'm quieting down. I'm breathing down. I'm doing it again. I feel less overwhelmed. And when you feel less overwhelmed, when your cells have oxygen, when you're not just seeing in kind of fight or flight focused mode, but you can look at the bigger picture, you are in a position to make better decisions. And when you feel better, you're going to do better. Okay? You got this. All y'all. You do it. Yeah, we all wish, Lori, trust me, I watched Bewitched. I watched I Dream of Jeannie. We want to go tinkle, tinkle, tink, or boom, and have it be done, don't we? I mean, that's why we're always searching for that one, that magic bullet, they call it. It's why, you know, somewhat to this day, there are so many like weight loss gimmicks and things. We don't want to have to do the mundane, tiny, somewhat boring things. We want it to just magically before and after. Think about those shows on like HGTV. Messy house to clean house. They always fast forward through the journey, the process, the decision making. They fast forward through that. What I want to offer to you, though, is think of it as a journey. Think of it as a road trip. You going through your clutter, you learn about who you are. You learn about who you were. Oh my God, remember when I used to fit into that t-shirt? Remember when I used to like that band? Remember when I used to make deviled eggs? I remember when I used to use that, blender all the time. Who you are, who you were, who you are. And talk about inspiring. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? There's stuff in your life that worked for you at a certain age in a certain chapter of your life. In the book of your life, in a certain chapter, that stuff made sense. Decluttering gives you the opportunity to revisit that person and say, is that still me? If it's not, that's okay. We evolve as humans. Am I still using that crock pot as often as I was before? No, you know what? I don't make that thing anymore. I haven't used it in years. Do I see myself making meatballs in the future? Nah, not really. Okay. Join my team. Thank you for whoever sent that. Have a conversation with yourself. Get to know yourself. And don't judge yourself. Love yourself at every age you've been. Today, next week, 20 years past, love yourself. You know? Angel is just saying, oh, who I was and who I am aren't the same? Duh. Think about it. Think about when you were 5 years old. What you like to eat, what you like to wear, what you like to watch. You're still kind of that same person, but you're not that person at all. I can't fit into my five-year-old pants. I can't even fit into my pants from 5 years ago. But that's okay. I am evolving. And you know what? Okay, what would you do with a wedding dress my daughter doesn't want? Says it's bad luck. It's preserved in a box. I would not force it on her. What I would do is I would find a place near me that would be donated, that nobody thinks of it as bad luck. Where near you could you easily donate a wedding dress or sell it? Now, the interesting thing for me is, and this is where I coach, so I'm outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm also from Massachusetts, so you're going to hear it in my voice. I'm on the East Coast, and the people that I coach are all over the country. So this is where you know your community better than I do, because you live there. Now, I know, because I actually saw her on TikTok, that there is a woman who I love. She's got an awesome vintage store. Her name is Milena. She's had her vintage store in Westchester, PA for the last 20 years. She's great. She did an unboxing of some vintage wedding dresses recently. So there may be somebody in your area who wants that dress. But don't force your stuff on anybody else, please. Do not guilt somebody. You know what it feels like to have the guilt trip put on you? Do not be that person. Understand, honor somebody else's feelings about this. Okay? Yep, you could sell it. You could repurpose it. I've seen, honestly, other people who get these things and say, well, cocktail dress. But if your daughter doesn't want it, trust her that she doesn't want it. Be okay with it, and then find something else you can do with it. Okay? And Google is going to be your friend. This is me when I'm thinking about Googling. I'm like, okay, wedding dress resale near me. Vintage clothing resellers near me. Hey, do you guys take wedding dresses? Hey, is there a place where, there could be something in your area. Okay? But you can do something about it. You can do something about it. And do it in a way that feels good, that's not going to make friction between you and your daughter. Yeah, German Maid just said some places take them to make little dresses for babies who have passed away. All depends on where you live. But there is an answer. Whatever question you have out there, there's an answer. Okay? But notice where we're coming from. We're coming from a place of encouragement, of I'm stuck, but there's something I can do about it. And one of the things you just did was you asked for help. You asked a question. You didn't know the answer, so you had a question. And because you did it here, and because I'm here, and we have a wonderful group of people that always show up on these TikTok lives, you got an answer that's going to inform what your very next little step is. Okay? German Maid saying, look up the Angel Gown program. That's awesome. Okay? We don't know the whole journey, people. We don't. Even if you're on a road trip, you're not like, okay, when I get to Palm Springs, do I take a left or a right? Really focus on, I was on a road trip yesterday. You get on the road, you're heading home, you know where to go. It isn't like, oh, suddenly it went from 70 to 470. Okay, but then 470 turns back into 70. Okay, I need to stop and get gas. Where can I stop? Oh, it's going to be in 53 miles. Okay, I'll do that. Oh, we're there. We stop. We get gas. What's the next right step? And I say right by how does it feel and what's the thing that's going to get you closer to your destination decluttered. Now, your destination decluttered is going to be completely specific to you because the most important person in the whole wide world is you, and you hardly even know you. What lights you up and what weighs you down is going to be different from everybody else. My house, I don't want your house to look like my house. I want your house to look like your house. I want you to feel good in your home. I want you to be able to find the items that you need to use. So I want it to look good for you. I want you to feel good in your home. The feeling tends to be universal. I will give you a few clues. If you say to yourself, why am I decluttering? Because I want to feel a certain way. I want to feel calm. I want to feel love. I want to feel lighter. I want to feel less heavy. Notice some of the things we feel like we may not know what the good word is, but we know what the bad word is. Oh, I feel heavy. I feel depressed. I feel overwhelmed. Write those things down. Fold the paper in half, create 2 columns. What's the opposite? What do you want to feel when you're in your home? I don't care what it looks like because that's not about me. But what I care about is how it looks makes you feel a certain way. So how does your home make you feel? I love my home. I do. I look around, I see all sorts of good stuff. And the neat thing is when people come over, they sense that love too because I'm taking good care of my things. I'm putting things away. It's easy for me to do that. I have a TikTok. I will share this with you. I have a video coming up about how I started, and it's not really, it was kind of decluttering, but it was more like cleaning up and kind of doing the things you don't want to do. I cleaned half of my snow gnome collection on Saturday because we had people coming over. Didn't take that much time, and now I know when I go to do the other half, it's not going to take much time either. So that feels good. You know? Angela Marie, thank you. Thank you for the good vibes. It knows that I'm on the right track, and I will continue to show up for you and for other folks. And that's why I encourage you to get on the mailing list, because if you think this is good, get on the mailing list. Our group Zooms are pretty awesome. Okay? So Amy is saying, piles of stuff that I will do someday. It's so hard. Getting sidetracked and not finishing. Okay. Everything is a catch-all. ADHD people, I'm getting that vibe because that's how I grew up, and I get it. That's okay. Notice that you have a catch-all. Catch-all tends to be a lot of things kind of disorganized together. Separate them out. Categorize your stuff. You will do someday. Why is it so hard? Notice where you get sidetracked. Notice when you don't finish. Those are opportunities that we can change things around so you get less sidetracked and more finishing. First of all, I will just offer this. If you think it's going to be hard, it's going to be hard. But if you think this isn't going to be as hard as I think it's going to be, this might even be easy. Dare I say this could be fun? I don't know if Erin is on this, but Erin is a client of mine. And when she started, she's like, oh, this is so hard. I really hate it. Now she's like, oh my gosh, this is kind of fun. This is kind of fun. Saying don't want it, making the decisions that align with who you want to be, the more you release and the more good you feel, the more you want to show up. There we go. Yeah, that's me. Undiagnosed ADHD, only 52. I think it happens at this time. I swear it must also have to do with the fact that our human brain was never meant to process this much information. And so we get to a certain point where you've got like, bing, 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 I am full. So we have to think of different ways to work with our brains, not against them. Okay? I need to change that stinking thinking. Yeah, I love the rhyme. Trust me, I'm all about rhymes and alliteration. But what I will also say is don't just get curious about how you're thinking. Curiosity is going to open you up to a solution. When you're judgment, you're shutting down and your brain's not going to go there because it doesn't feel safe if you're being judged. Do you feel safe if you're being judged? Do you feel trusting when somebody's judging you? Even if the call is coming from inside the house? I'm not judging, I'm judging myself. I'm beating myself up. You wouldn't trust somebody on the external who's judging you and beating yourself up. Learn to trust yourself. Learn to love yourself. And I can help you do this. I mean, this is life coaching, right? But just get curious about how you're talking to yourself. Is there a kinder way? Oh, hey, guess what? My brain works this way at this age. Okay, cool. How does this work? How can I meet myself where I'm at and create systems and processes and ways of doing things that give me the life I want? It can be done because I have done it, and I am not a special person. I found out the hard way. It took me so long to do this. I show up now to show you the shortcuts. I don't want you to take as much time as I did to get to where I am. I want to show you the shortcuts. I'm like a travel guide in that way. Like, oh, don't take the route I take. It took a wicked long time. All right. I want to show you the easy ways to get to here and build your tool set while you're doing it. Now I feel like I'm kind of oozing into like coach speak and like kind of encouraging you to sign up to be a client. But I just want to say that this is, I show up for this reason. Okay. I love it your middle name is Beth, and I love it that Abbott Elementary said, just decluttered my nightstand, and it feels so good. I used to dread it, and now it feels so good. There we go. Yeah, self-deprecating. Trust me, I come from the snarkiness of New England. I know that stuff like nobody's business, but it can have a cumulative effect. You would never talk to an external person the way you talk to the internal you. Or maybe you do. I don't know. But it feels kind of crappy. But when you can talk to yourself with love and kindness, it makes you feel better. And when you feel better, you're going to do better. Okay? Yeah. Okay, Angel is saying we have been trained to focus on the reactions of others and not our own feelings. Yeah, and I say, F that training. Let's do something different. Taking other people into account at some point, but when you pay attention to you, you are going to make better choices for yourself and for other people. Right? There we go. Pink Knit got an organizing team, came in at $2,600, double garage and furniture catch-all. All right, you know what? Do the things that work for you to get this stuff done. Yeah. Okay, so user 4211 says, my anxiety, when it's at its highest, I can clean up a room so quick. When I come down, I realize I just moved everything to another room. Yeah. Decluttering is not moving things from point A to point B. Decluttering is looking at the stuff and making a decision. Not all of them, a thing at a time, a category at a time, and making a decision. This is such the important part I want to leave you with. Yes, and Angel, I think this is the same thing. What do I want to happen with this? Do I want this item? Do I want this item in my home anymore? The answer can be yes. Cool. If I want it, where's a good place? Where's a better place to home it, for it to live than right now? Where it is. But if I have a thing and I say, what is this thing? Do I want it or not? And the answer is no, I don't want it anymore. Not feeling bad about that. And saying, what's the easiest way for me to just get this out of my home? What's the easiest way for me to get it out of my home? It may be selling it. It may be throwing it away. It may be donating it. It may be giving it to somebody who wants it. It may be putting it on a free table. There are so many ways for you to release what doesn't serve you. But you have to ask the question first. And when you start asking that question, that's power because you are making a decision that feels good to you. Okay? So pay attention to how you talk to yourself. Okay? Yep. And notice user 42116, I've told you before, I don't even have a lot of things, but I feel as if I do. Now that, I will say, is a practice. That is learning how to live with your brain and catching it when it is causing you to feel a certain way. It is that feeling of overwhelm. Oh, I've got so much to do. Yesterday, I will share this with you. We were on a trip, and I have only got a minute, and I'm going to hop off. We were on a trip, and I was feeling like, okay, come on, hurry up. We got to get going. We got to go. And my husband was like, we're not in a rush. And I thought we were because I thought he needed to be home. And I was like, oh, we're not in a rush? Okay. I had to remind myself quite a few times to start to get my energy to where, no, we're not in a rush. I can sit down. I can calm down. I can slow down. It takes practice, but it's worth it. So when you start to think you have a lot of things and you're getting that feeling, catch yourself, traffic cop hand, overwhelm. Calm down, slow down, quiet down. Make your body feel better. I have just the right amount of things. I don't have too much. Okay? Yeah. Do it for the person you are and the person you want to be. Okay? Catch yourself when you're always rushing. That's an ADHD thing. You can do something about that. But notice how it's making you feel. If it's making you feel good, great, but I doubt if it's making you feel good long term. You can do something about that, and it's helping you learn the tools to regulate your nervous system, as they say in coaching, for you to make yourself feel better so you can do better. Okay, I love it. Lori58 said, learned so much. Thank you. Motivated, getting ready to start a room now. Chew! Okay. Yeah. Karen Barry. I grew up just outside of Boston in Needham. Maybe we went to high school together. I don't know. But it's 8 a.m. I'm going to sign off now, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Again, I'm on the East Coast. I have another couple of TikTok Lives coming up this week. And then next week and the week after I do. And you know who's going to find out about those first? The people on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list. DestinationDecluttered.com/join. Just hop on it, you guys. It's free. It's so simple. It's nothing to be afraid of. If anything, the benefits of being on this free mailing list are going to be stuff that other people charge a membership fee for. But I like to do things the way I like to do it. Okay, Linfield, I know where that is. I know exactly where that is because I used to go up to Route 1 and go to like the Salvation Army and to the Bel Air Diner. Okay? DestinationDecluttered.com. It's where you sign up for the mailing list. Or if you want me to be your one-on-one coach, that can happen too. Sign up for a consultation. We meet on Zoom. We talk about it. If it works for you, we make it happen. Take that next step. What's the next step for you to get you to where you want to go? Your Destination Decluttered. Okay? I'll see you later. Bye.